Hey everyone, welcome to another MLM dumpster fire. And today is absolutely going to be a dumpster fire, as is every other time when we talk about multi-level marketing coaches. We have our favorite arbonne bro, Wade, and the rest of the videos are our pink-haired girl. She's in Senegal. She's a self-proclaimed multi-level marketing coach. And we have our guy whose name I keep forgetting. Ben? Is it Ben? I don't know, but he's annoying. So that's what we're doing today. There's 4 videos that we're going to watch together. So buckle up before we get into it. Get your snacks, get your coffee. You thought I was gonna say subscribe, and you're right, because I'm gonna say please subscribe to my channel. That's the best way to support me in a nice free way, if you'd like, of course. And big shout out to all my channel members. As always, I appreciate you guys. And without further ado, let's get into this. Oh god damn it, Wade. He's using that song. I'm gonna have to speed him up and pitch a little bit so that I don't get copyrighted for this. But let's listen to his training.
Alright, so check this out. Story time. Stay with me here. I want to tell you about the last straw for me in corporate America and what made me jump into entrepreneurship. So, I worked in finance, I worked in kind of the Wall Street world, and you know, when you went to investment and business meetings, you had to wear suits, and so I'd get suited up, and I kind of like dressing up sometimes, right? And so I'd get these tailored suits in like lavender or blue or some color, and I'd look super metro, right? And meanwhile, I'm with all these older guys in these like black and gray and like navy boxy suits like from Jose Banks and whatever. And I stand out, right? Because I got it tailored to like tight fit on my legs and all the things. And I remember one of my bosses, he pulled me aside, he goes, dude, next meeting we go to, I need you to go to Jose Banks, get a plain gray suit, don't make it fit you like that, and just fit in. And I was like, I was like, oh, that's it? Like, I can't be me? Like, oh, you literally have control over the suit I wear? And you're telling me to fit in? I was like, huh, okay, that's it. I can't fit into this box anymore. And I didn't the next day quit and go become an entrepreneur, but it's those defining moments in life where I was like, this isn't gonna work for me. I wanna be my own boss. I gotta go make that happen and create it. What's that moment for you?
Okay, wait, first world problems. Like the moment he realized that he wants to quit his job, his corporate good paying job, is because he couldn't wear a lavender suit. I mean, talk about first world problems. I don't mean to minimize his thing. I mean, I guess, yeah, okay, well, you're controlling my wardrobe, but if you are literally working in the finance industry, there is a certain type of formal wear that people are gonna maybe not take you as seriously if you're wearing a lavender suit. I don't know. I'm sure the bosses have a reason why they want everyone to wear regular suits. Great, wait, I can totally relate to that one. This is my work outfit. As you can see, it's rider wear and I'm wearing brown leggings, so who am I to talk about suits or dressing up? I didn't actually talk about Wade in a while. I didn't cover him, but him and his wife are kind of like a power couple in Arbonne. They're both close to the top. I think they're both in 1%, or she's in 1% and he's close, but he's more like a coach, MLM coach type of thing has going on, and she is just a rep for Arbonne. She gives like unsolicited health advice as well, dermatological advice and stuff like that. She's very problematic. I have made videos on them. We call them Mr. and Mrs. Wade, but we're not gonna I thought this was just funny. This was sent to me by my bestie, and I know exactly why she sent it to me, because it's fucking ridiculous.
Hi guys, my name is Morgan Zambrano, and I help people show up front row in their businesses, and ideally with this topic even in your life. Even if you are not a business owner, this will be relevant to you, but it is very much my passion to help people sit front row. Like, stop hiding in the middle, stop goofing off in the back, and let's actually put you in the driver's seat of your life and get you focused in the right direction and understanding that you do have control in your life. Thank you guys for jumping on so quickly.
She is also uncertified, doesn't have any expertise. She's not even a life coach or anything. I don't know why she thinks that she can share this advice and teach people how to do anything, in my opinion, because like I said, she's not certified. But yeah, this is what we're dealing with here.
Holy guacamole, what is going on over on Instagram? Hi, Instagram, I see you. Whoa. Okay, so I heard this quote 2 days ago from one of my friends. She's actually a downline. She's on my team, and she is so phenomenal, and I could brag about her forever. So shout out to Teresa Martin for inspiring this video with a quote that I had never heard before. And it's not common for people to say quotes that I haven't heard from. I practically study motivational quotes. Anyone else? I'm constantly surrounded by them. And she said, she was talking to my team, actually, so she's on my team, but she was speaking to my whole organization. And she said, growth means not having the same problems you were having last year. Anyone else feel attacked by that quote? Growth means not having the same problems you were having last year.
I don't understand this because, like, what if you have some kind of health issues or whatever? I have asthma and allergies, so me having the same problem over and over and over again.
I instantly was like, more people need to hear this. Because this time last year, March of last year, is when network marketing, again, I'm not just going to talk about network marketing, this is going to be relatable, but March of last year is when network marketing got rocky. Like, it was between March and April that it just went, what is going on? Like, literally, we are 1 year out from when that started happening. Do you still have the same excuses you had 12 months ago? Is it still my customers aren't showing up? No one's buying from me. No one's booking.
Okay, Morgan, calm down, because if somebody said that they don't have enough money to join, that's not an excuse. That's a legitimate reason as to why they can't join. If people don't have big social media followings, they don't have anyone to recruit, and they're probably most likely doing live streams, they're posting regularly, they're just not getting followers because there's such thing as algorithm, which is very hard to figure out on Instagram to get a bigger reach and reach more people with your posts. It doesn't happen just like that. So they're not excuses, they're legitimate reasons why these people can't do anything. But also, you're in a business model where the majority of people never makes any profit, so there's that as well.
Parties, I can't find new people. Is it still the same excuses that you had 12 months ago? Because if it's still the same excuses 12 months later, it's a you issue. And I love you, but it's time to step into your power and stop having the excuses and stop having the blame and just say, what am I going to do about it? Do I want to do something, or do I like complaining? Again, I love you, but some of y'all like to complain because then you get in your little chatty chats and you all talk to each other and you all complain together and you have a community of people who complain. And you enjoy that. But you know what you would enjoy more? Getting results and finding success. I promise you, the people who are enabling you in these conversations are not helping you. They are keeping you down with them. Stop it. Okay, this needs to be said. I am real talking all of network marketing and everyone who I want to like rise up and take freaking control. Because I'm going to tell you right now, 12 months ago, my business sucked.
This is condescending and this is absolutely fucking rude. Megan. I keep calling her Megan. I don't know why. I don't mean to be disrespectful. I genuinely thought her name was Megan for like the longest time. If you even earn any money from Senegans, you're earning it because your downline works hard. Probably the majority of the profit that you would earn is because of your downline, thanks to your downline. While in the meantime, they don't get any profit for themselves, and then you have the audacity to get on a live stream and tell them this. I love you, but all you do is just complain to each other and don't work. Like, are you fucking serious?
It did. Don't get me wrong. My business is still very enviable. I love my business. But 12 months ago, I was in a really crappy place. I was in a really crappy mindset. I was in a really crappy, like, my whole business was going backwards. My whole organization was going backwards. I lost a third of my team last year. A third. Do you know how many people that is? It's a lot. Okay? And so I could have stayed there. I could have stayed stuck. And I did for a little bit. And then I got out of it. And now I'm crushing it. And I want all of you to know that not only am I crushing it, and I'm telling you this with intention, but everyone around me, everyone who I'm like talking to consistently is also crushing it. And 12 months ago, we weren't.
Take that with a grain of salt, because I firmly believe that Morgan here is not earning a great money from this business. So there's that. I don't believe her when she says that she's crushing it and it's doing so well. I think she's faking it, hoping that she's gonna make it.
Because we understand that like we can pull ourselves out of it if we take the action towards it. You have to take the action towards it. That's the thing. It's intentional. Pulling yourself out of a rut is intentional. Pulling yourself out of a place where your business sucks is intentional. It's not magic. It is hard work of showing up every single day when you don't want to, of pressing against those fears and those excuses and all those crappy things that are happening in your life, pushing past it. And so some of you, I know I went off on a tangent about business owners, and I know I said this would have to do with life too. But it does. It does have to do with life, because this is what I grew up around. I grew up around people who have the same blame and shame for like 20 years. It's the same conversations for like decades. Do any of you relate to that? Decades of the same conversations. And it's like, you know, they're not doing anything about it. You know, they're doing nothing to change their situations. And like, it sucks. I will tell you, as someone who really pushes to change my situation every single day, it sucks. It makes me emotional. Hold on. It sucks watching so many of you stay stuck. And it sucks watching you guys keep blaming and keep having these excuses when I know for a fact that you could pull yourself out of it. I know you could. I know you could change your situation. I know if you hate your job, you could find another one. I know that if you don't like having money, you could learn how to sell stuff on the side. You could get like a hobby that, not a hobby, but you know what I mean? But some of you, for example, here's one I'm guilty of. You want to know what I'm guilty of? I am guilty of saying, I don't have any friends. I say that all the time. I don't have any friends. It's a choice. In the moments that I've needed friends, I go to a gym and I talk to people. Or I go to like a networking event and I talk to people. If you don't have friends, get out of your house. And if you don't want to get out of your house, my kids have friends on the internet. Like, they don't actually know them, but like they jump on Fortnite and they all have like their own little usernames. You want people to talk to, join a network marketing company. Comes with a community. Magic.
No, she just said it herself. Like, go to a gym, find a hobby, get on Instagram, get on YouTube, do any of those things, and you can find like-minded people that you're probably gonna get along with. I don't have many friends in Ireland either in real life, but I have a bunch of people that I talk to online, including a lot of you guys that watch my videos, and it's great. And you don't need to join an MLM, spend a bunch of money just to have some friends. You can get friends for free, believe it or not, and friends that are not transactional as well, unlike many relationships in MLMs, which is my opinion anyway.
You could give me like almost any excuse, minus like there are always situations of like sickness and trauma and traumatic events. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about your basic everyday excuses that I see y'all posting about time after time after time after time, but you're not doing anything about it. You just like to hear yourself complain, and then you like all the likes that you get from everyone else who is complaining. And again, they're enabling you. They're not helping you get unstuck. The people who are helping you get unstuck are the people who are going to real talk you and say, stop it. What are we doing about it? What posts are actually going to help you move forward? Or what can you watch to help me?
Okay, Morgan, I'm gonna be the one that says to you, stop it. I know she's not watching this video, but man, this is horrible. You're victim blaming people who are in a predatory business model where the majority of them never make any money. A lot of MLMs out there are, in my opinion, product-based pyramid schemes, and 99% of people that join any MLM out there, Senegans including, has 99% of chance of never making any profit. Do you not see how twisted that is? That is horrible.
Make you move forward. And another thing is that, okay, I'm gonna bring it down. Another thing is that I know that in your head you're like, okay, Morgan, you're right, but it's gonna be so hard. And it is. I'm not gonna tell you that it's not. It's hard to, gosh, why am I so emotional? Ugh. I'm going to get better at this part. This is always the hardest part. But it's hard to quit your job and to get a new job. It's hard. It's hard to start selling stuff if you don't know anyone's going to buy it. It's hard. It's hard to get around people who hold you accountable. Danny just said that over on Instagram. It's hard to let go of those friends who are stuck and who have crappy excuses, and you see it month after month after month. It's hard. But it's harder to stay.
If your friends are going through a tough time, you are a shitty friend. If you're like, you're too negative for me, I'm just gonna tap out of this friendship. That's not how that works.
Stuck. It's harder if like 2, 5, 10 years from now, you are still in the same place you're at right now. That's harder. And so I know it can feel hard to make choices every single day that suck a little bit, that are a little bit uncomfortable, and that are a little bit like, I'd really rather just be watching Netflix. I'd really rather just be gossiping because it makes me feel good. I know that's easier today. But 10 years from now, it would be easier to have the life that you want. And it would be easier to feel fulfilled with your life. And so every single day, you're either working towards that life or you're walking away from it, and that choice is yours. So, I hope this was helpful. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time.
Yeah, you're walking away from the life that you want if you're in an MLM, because in an MLM, you're never making any profit. You're spending your free time, your money onto something that's never gonna work for you. You are walking away from the life that you could have in 10 years by spending your time and money on the MLM, because you're never gonna succeed in an MLM. I don't personally think that Morgan is evil or mean. I think she's just really brainwashed. I actually believe that she's not doing any of this out of malice.
Hey girl, I don't know if you've seen, but I'm working with ABC Company. Should you share the name of your company at the beginning of a sales conversation? There's no one right way to sell, but I'm just going to give you my answer. You should not do it. Now, why do I say that? Because I want you to be secretive, and because I want you to try to act like you're not talking to them for the reason that you are. Not at all. I don't want you to do it for one very important reason. Before you sell your company, you need to sell them on you. And you are not your company. You have a unique mission and vision and values behind the work that you do. Your company is just one of the vehicles that you use to help you accomplish those things. Here's the second reason. It triggers sales resistance, and people shut down. Because the minute you come in with that, they feel like they're being sold.
I mean, let me tell you, dude. I mean, you're supposed to be a network marketing coach who's very successful and whatever, but it doesn't matter if you mention the name of the company that much. If you're saying, hey girl, this is a great opportunity, I think you'd be so great at this, most of the people are going to be like, what do you want me to buy? What is this shit? It doesn't matter if you say the name of the company or no. That's anyone who starts a message, especially to a stranger in that way, the stranger's going to be put off because it's weird, okay? Second of all, I think personally that he doesn't want people to mention the name of the company just because, you know, if they Google it, there's a lot of shady but true information online that would say, no, MLMs are bad, this is an MLM company and network marketing. Okay, so this next one and the last video we're gonna watch today is the clash between the pink hair girl and Ben. I wanna say Ben, I'm pretty sure his name is Ben. So yeah, I feel like this is gonna be a shit show.
Hi guys. Oh my gosh, I am so excited, so nervous. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Morgan Zambrano, and it is my vision to take all of my I can't even talk to you guys, all of my knowledge and skills from the last 6 years and turn it into actionable tips and tricks for the average network marketer. And so I am here today, gonna have a special guest here in a minute. Someone I have learned from literally for 6 years. Literally since I joined. A little bit later, I'll tell the story in just a second. You guys are so nice. Oh my gosh, thank you. The amount of people jumping on is awesome and also totally freaking me out. This is totally fine. So I see our guest has arrived. I have never done a co-live on Instagram, you guys, so we're excited and nervous. Holy moly, y'all. Let's see. Did it work? I accepted the request. Did it work? Oh, nope, didn't work. That would help.
Hey.
There we go. Hi.
Hello.
Oh my gosh, you guys. The man of the hour. Hi, Bob.
How are you? Let me get myself situated. It always gets a little funky.
I was close with Ben. It's Bob. Sorry. I really don't mean to be disrespectful, but I can't remember this guy's name for some reason.
I know, when it goes like half and half. I honestly, I've never gone live on Instagram, so I was like, is this going to look like Facebook? I'm really not
this is your
sure.
First time live on Instagram? Get out of here.
Not live, sorry. Don't
do live. Okay,
yeah, doing a co-live. I've done them on Facebook, but we have.
I should feel very honored then.
I am the one who's honored. So, so you guys, I asked Bob if we could do this interview because he was announced as our keynote speaker for our conference coming up. So if anyone is joining from any other companies. I'm with Senegence, and we have a conference coming up, and Bob is our keynote, which is incredible. And I don't think I've ever messaged anyone so fast, because Bob might not know this, but I have followed you pretty much since the beginning of my journey, back when we call her Baby Morgan. So back when I was Baby Morgan, like a brand new distributor, I somehow started following you, and it seriously changed the trajectory of my business. And I've gone on to become like top in the company because of your specific servant leadership and the love, serve, grow, all of that I'm going to have, you talk about. But I'm just so honored to be here, because a lot of it has to do with you and your teaching. So I'm nervous. So I'm just going to ask you if you'll introduce yourself to anyone watching who maybe doesn't know you, and a little bit of your story.
Yeah, sure. Hey, I'm Bob. Nice to meet everybody. I know we probably have some of my viewers tuning in here. So so as Morgan said, I guess the way that I'll start off is that we in our business, which is called Your Virtual Upline, you see the sign there, we teach a philosophy that we call love, serve, grow. So we really believe that love and service and growth are actually the keys to building a business that isn't just financially successful, but is also personally fulfilling and sustainable. And so we just believe that this profession is, when it's done right, it's about a lot more than just making money. Now, we're not against making money, but we just feel called to do something deeper. And so we teach this thing called Love, Serve, Grow. And in action, it really boils down to, I believe that there are 3 core skills that if you can just learn how to master these 3 things, that you can be pretty successful in a business like this. And they are in order: sales, marketing, and leadership. Sales, marketing, and leadership are the 3 core skills to success. And so sales is an interesting one, because a lot of people in our space, we have kind of a weird relationship to sales. We try to pretend like we don't sell. We serve, we share. The truth of the matter is we sell, and whether you want to admit that or not. Now, I think the problem that most people have with selling, this is actually going to be one of the core things I talk about at conference, is that we feel like sales is not aligned with our values and the way we want to run the business. Like, we've only been taught one way to sell, and it's that kind of pushy manipulation form of selling where it's just about.
Okay, I love the fact that this previous clip was added to this folder. This was done by my bestie, not by myself. She actually sorted this into one folder. I love this because literally in the short clip, he said, you shouldn't mention the name of your company because you don't want people to be disgusted and like put off by the fact that you're trying to sell something to them. And now he's talking about sales as if they're not being pushy, they're not being manipulative, whatever. You're literally advising people not to share the name of their company because you don't want those people to know that you're trying to sell them something.
Making a sale, getting a recruit. And so we actually teach something that we call transformational selling. And I like to call it selling with a servant heart. And so we teach people a way to sell in their business that actually is more focused on serving and helping than just making the sale. But here's the secret. You make this shift, you'll make way more sales than you ever have in your business anyway. So it's just a different approach. We're about different things, and I'm passionate about it because I think all of us are we realize that we know the world has changed. There's no argument there. And I'm sure you see this too, Morgan. Social media has changed a lot. Like, what people are looking for, what they tolerate on social media, it's shifted. And so we, as a business owner, as somebody selling on social media, we have to learn how to evolve and adapt with it. So that's what we really, primarily, we teach people how to sell and market their businesses in a way that helps them stand out.
I love that. And you kind of brought up the topic I really wanted to dive into, which is 2023, and just kind of how you see maybe like the outlook of this year, kind of your vision about this year, and maybe how it's evolved from, like, for example, I saw a lot of growth during the pandemic. My team grew very rapidly. And then last year, and I'll say this publicly to anyone listening, because I think it's good for you to hear leaders say this, like my numbers went backwards. They went down. And we've seen that a lot in like across my friendships and in the industry. And so now I'm just curious what your vision is coming out of 2020, 21, 2022, and now into 2023. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, so I'll actually reference some research that's out there, some studies that have been done on consumer behavior. So what are people actually looking for in the companies that they do business with and the people that we purchase from? So there's one particular study, an article that was written by the Harvard Business Review. There were two key findings to me that really stood out. The first one is this: people are, in every purchase, they're looking for maximum value. So when I think about the way that most people sell, and the way that when I think of COVID, people had all this money, they had nothing to do, they were looking for somewhere to spend it, online shopping went through the roof. We had all these COVID business babies that just, I'm bored and I'll do this. And they did it because it was simple, and they did it because it was easy. And the minute that it wasn't that anymore, the minute that the real world got back into place, and then also money became tighter. Inflation, reduced spending, people are losing jobs. What happened was the scales really shifted to value. Value is the thing that determines every purchasing decision. And price is what you pay, value is what you think you get. And here's the, I don't know any other way to say it, so I'm just gonna say it like this. Most people in this profession have no idea how to create value for what they do. Beyond doing this, just blasting their products and business all over social media, copying and pasting their way through prospecting. Every single conversation is a hey girl conversation. You'd be great for my team. Here's my stuff. We call that product information. When you're product focused, when your content and your conversations are mostly about what you do, it is the lowest level of value creation. And people they have a very low tolerance for it today. Mm-hmm. And so here's what I'm seeing. And I'm not saying you're doing this, Morgan, right? Please, let's not, say that. But most people haven't recognized that they need to shift their focus to a different approach. It's not a right or wrong conversation. It's the world has changed and we must adapt with it. And so we teach people in selling how to create value, and understanding that just talking about your products, just talking about your comp plan and your company, it doesn't create value. And it also will never make you stand out. Because this is
nothing new, right? He's just teaching people how to be manipulative. It's not the product. Don't mention the company name. Try to get close to these people, have them like you and want to work with you, and then it's easier for you to recruit them. And also, I like how he said, not you, Morgan, but because like I said earlier, I really don't think that Morgan is doing well in Senegans. I don't think she's a successful rep at all. They're both just bashing everyone in their downlines and everyone who's watching this live.
What every single person does in this profession.
I love all of that. I'm like, I'm so glad so many of my team members are watching. I'm like, this is exactly what we talk about all the time.
Can I give you one example?
That's actually, I was going to say, okay. Could you give them either an example or even like an action step?
So let's talk. Oh, I lost you for a sec there.
Okay.
So let's talk content. All right. I've been talking a lot about this. I truly believe this is the way for you to stand out and win in 2023. This is gonna short circuit some people's brains, because it's gonna be very much against everything we've ever been taught. Now, once again, I'm not saying this is a right or wrong conversation. I'm just saying I think there's a better way to show up on social media. Here's my piece of advice. Stop selling in your content. Stop selling in your content. Stop having we're taught, gotta have the call to action, and it's always gotta be, here's the link, join my team, now's the time. And we're taught that this is what we're supposed to do. And that actually used to work. Like 5 years ago, if I was doing some sort of a training or a program, I could just go to Facebook and post, hey guys, doing this $27 thing, here's the link, and people would sign up. I mean, it was just like, today, I could never do that. And so, but the problem is this, we try to sell too much in our content, people's sales resistance start to go up. They don't trust us as much and they stop paying attention. And the other thing is when you sell on a piece of content, it's not that there isn't still value in that. Like if I want to buy, okay, I'm going to buy. But what happens is you start to lose the attention of all these other people that could potentially grow into consultants or customers, and they just don't get as much value because you do that too much. So what I say is this: sell in your conversations, not in your content. So if we're including a call to action, don't have the call to action be the pitch or the ask. Have the call to action say, let's continue the conversation. Let's continue the conversation in stories. Leave me a comment. I'd love to hear your advice. I'd love to know what you think. Content facilitates conversations. The less you sell in your content, I am 100% certain you will grow a bigger following and you will make more sales. Now, look, I know if you're somebody that's selling all the time in your content, it might be a little drastic for you to just stop doing it. So my advice is this: do it less. Do it less. Focus on creating more content that's really just designed on trying to help and solve problems. Every piece of content shouldn't be about your products. And so what I say is this: delay the ask. The longer you can delay the ask in your public facing content, the bigger the ask will be.
I'm like sitting here just ready to take notes. I'm like, oh my gosh, I should be taking notes. I'm going to go back and I'm going to rewatch this myself. But is this valuable, you guys? I'm seeing so many comments come through.
But I'll say this too as well, because I feel like this is a follow-up, because there's two polar opposites of this conversation. There's people that sell all the time. Mm-hmm. And then I like to call them the attraction marketing zealots that will reprimand you because you know they'll be like, oh my God, you put the name of your company in your profile? Do you not understand attraction? You told people what you do? To me, that is the most ludicrous piece of advice. Like, you're supposed to hide all the time. Like, we're running a business. And to think that we shouldn't share that business at some point, to me, makes no sense whatsoever. So it's okay.
He just said, don't do it. Don't mention the name of your company. Of course, at some point, people are gonna find out. You have to send them a link to buy a starter kit or to watch an official recruiting video or whatever. They're gonna find out the name of the company eventually. You can't recruit someone without telling them what company you're recruiting them into. Again, nothing surprising, but this is a little bit contradicting. Like, when is the right time then to mention the name of the company? If you're not supposed to do it in the beginning, tell us, Bob. Tell us, when should we do it then? I love how they get on these like training calls or whatever, where they're like, we're gonna train you, we're gonna teach you, and then they always say, well, you shouldn't be doing that, but then they don't tell you what you should actually be doing. It's like, okay, I can't do this, but what can I do instead of it? When can I say the name of my company, for God's sakes? Like, you're not really helping these people.
Okay to share your products. It's okay to share your life as it relates to what your business is doing. But here's the nuance. Just don't pitch and sell. This is hard for people to do. Like, it's like we want to show our lifestyle. We show that we're on vacation with our family, but we can't resist mentioning in there that it was because of our business, and if you're ready to join my team, now's the time. And I'm just telling you, what happens is you take a post that could be a very relatable and inspiring post, and it automatically becomes a sales pitch, and people look at it differently.
It's so funny. I don't know. I just went to a training a couple weeks ago, and I redid the training for my team, and what he said was that basically exactly what you're saying, that your brand, like who you are as a person, has to suffocate the marketing. And the moment that there's a call to action, it becomes, like you said, a sales pitch. Yeah. So you have to suffocate the sales pitch with just the value in who you are as a person. And I love seeing that alignment from two very, very different people. That's a clue, you guys.
Well,
that's such a clue.
So I like calls to action, but let's have the action not be buying. Let's have the action be, let's continue this conversation, right? And so I think that's the nuance.
I love that. Okay, I have another question. If you are, like, a lot of this has been directed towards distributors, which most of my following is just going to be very, like, average distributors. That's my vision, is to help the average distributor. But at the same time, you know, what about for our leaders out there who are who are leading their teams through this kind of shifting market? Do you have advice for the leaders watching?
Yeah. So look, for me, leadership training always starts with what are you doing, not what are you teaching your team to do. So are you showing them through your actions as an example how they should shift? So my first piece of advice is to a leader is,
in my opinion, Bob, this advice is bull crap, because it doesn't matter if you're successful and you're sharing with your team exactly what you're doing on daily basis, monthly, yearly. They can duplicate or they can straight up copy everything that you're doing. It doesn't guarantee that they're going to be successful. Not in social media and not in MLMs, certainly not in MLMs, because still the business model is still working against them. The majority of them has to fail so that the top 1% or less can earn all the money. It's as simple as that. It doesn't matter. You can share all you want. They can copy and duplicate all they want. If the business model is working against them, they're never going to get anywhere.
Is learn how to sell in a different way, learn how to create content in a different way. Let your team see you starting to change the way you're showing up. And have that be the first step to you actually teaching them and really modeling to them a different way to do it. So that's the first thing. But here's, I guess this would probably be a valuable thing to say too, Morgan. It's, so what is our primary responsibility as a leader, right? We're leading, right? We have to ask ourselves, where are we leading people to, right? Do we actually have a clear picture of where we want to go, where we want to take our business, where we want to lead our team? Are we clear on that vision? Because what I see, especially in the world today, it's really easy for somebody to just get caught up in fear with all the uncertainty out there. You know, we hear that people aren't spending money. We see that people are losing jobs. We hear inflation. The world is almost at the verge of war, and so many, like, we hear all this stuff, and it would be easy for us to just get caught up focusing on all the circumstances. Our job as a leader is to be able to get people to see beyond their current circumstances and become inspired that there's a brighter future. Our job is to take all of these circumstances that most people might be feeling afraid about and actually get them to see them from another perspective and see how this year could actually be an amazing opportunity. And continuing to cast that vision and get them inspired so that they don't get caught up in their problems. So I think from a leadership standpoint, what is your vision? What is your mission? And then keep sharing that with your team to get them thinking bigger.
So good. You guys.
I don't think an MLM leader would be at all successful in an actual corporate job as being a manager or supervisor. Like, these leaders, who are they leaders of? Like, what do they actually do except for like this type of stuff, like just complain that people are lazy, bash them and criticize them, say you're not doing this right without actually offering valuable, useful advice for their downlines. They're not actually like leaders. They're not leading anyone. They're just motivating people to join or to stay longer so that they get more money for themselves. But in my opinion, if you are an MLM leader, you go into an actual job where you have to take care of your team and you have to actually take care of them, train them, care for them, have one-to-ones, assessments, everything, they would be very bad at it because that's not what they do. They're not actual real leaders. They say as well, like, anyone can join and anyone can become a leader is not true, because you have to have certain traits to be a leader in an MLM as well. Anyone and everyone is not suited to be a manager at a normal corporate job. Like, not everyone can just be a manager or a supervisor. You have to have skill set that you have to have and all that kind of jazz. Like, it's not that easy, and it's not like, oh, anyone and everyone can do this.
You can see the comments because I've never done a collab.
Yeah, I can see them. Yeah.
I was like, they're so excited.
Yeah.
Okay, so like I said, I didn't want to keep you too long. So how about how do you feel about in-person events? I don't want to say the importance of in-person events because then I'm putting words in your mouth. But as far as conferences and showing up to conferences, like, how important do you feel like that is?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of the most important things. I recognize that events are sometimes a challenge to get to. And I also recognize that there are legitimate circumstances that prevent us from attending events. I think a lot of times we just don't understand the value of events. One of my early mentors taught me this, and I believe I'm living proof of it. He told me that here's the way he said it. He said, when you first join the company, you're in the business. After you attend your first event, the business is in you. And the other thing he told me is that leaders are born in events. Mm-hmm. And I believe that I'm actually living proof of that, because I came into my first network marketing company somebody that had a tremendous fear of public speaking. I struggled really big time my first year. I didn't recruit a single person. I doubted myself every step of the way. I never saw myself doing anything like this. And it wasn't until I attended my first event that I really got a chance to see and hear up close these people that I had been admiring from far, and really get a chance to get to know the company and the owners, that I started to really get it. Mm-hmm. And it was almost like, to me, there was this little seed that was planted at that first event that started to grow. And I really,
as someone who has social anxiety and I'm shy and I'm introverted, I can tell you right now, I joined an MLM where I had to do this kind of public or in real life public speaking either. Me just doing it and going through it, practicing, like the more you do it, the more comfortable you're gonna be with it. Yeah, maybe you get a little bit more comfortable, but some people don't. Why is it always in these MLMs that they try to say, oh, I was always afraid of public speaking, but look at me now, and you should be okay with it too? It's like, why do I have to be okay with it? If it's not required by your work and you don't want to get better at it, you don't have to.
I think, looking back, had I not really made a commitment to make sure that I was at the events and at least know that that was going to happen, I don't know that I still would have been in this profession today.
I completely agree. I feel the same way about my first conference. I always tell people I didn't get it until I went to my first event. Yeah. And I came home just on fire, just so excited, because I saw average people having success. And that's the thing, when you actually talk to the people in person and you're like, oh, you're so much like me. I had you on this pedestal, but you're actually normal. Yeah. But now I can see myself getting to where you are. Does that make sense?
Totally. And listen, not for nothing, for the Synergens people on here, I'm going to be at the event, so y'all better be at the event. Okay. I'm making the trip. So you're not going to want to miss this one. I'm saying, for whatever it's worth, you will not want to miss this.
And you guys, if you don't know, I'm sure I'm allowed to say this.
Well, excuse me, Bob. A lot of the people can't afford, even if they want to be there. What are you talking about? I'm annoyed, so I'm just going to keep going, but this was not cool.
I'm pretty sure it's in the agenda. Not only is Bob doing a keynote, he's also doing some breakouts.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, we're going to have smaller group sessions, which is... Yeah.
I was on a planning call with Melanie and some of the leaders the other day, and we were fleshing out what I'm going to be talking about, and I'm pretty fired up. I'm excited. So
it's going to be so good. Okay. Well, I will let you go unless you have any last words. I am so excited about this, and I'm so honored that you even had this conversation with me, to be very honest. What about, say again, he's your virtual upline. That's your
virtual upline. Yep. So we have a podcast called the Your Virtual Upline Podcast, but we're on Instagram. So
that's enough. That's just him self-advertising his Instagram, social media. But let me know down below what you think about that. Do you think maybe she's not brainwashed? Maybe you disagree. Maybe you think that she knows what she's doing. Let me know down below. And don't forget to click the like and subscribe button. That's a nice free way to support my channel if you enjoy my videos. And as always, big shout out to all my channel members. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye.